Hello everybody, my name is Johnnysigs. You can call me the Suit if you like, or just Suit if you're feeling extra lazy. And today we're going to be taking a look at a Dota 2 lesson. Today is Lesson 1, Part 3, Items to Counter Enemy Heroes. So, first thing, there's going to be a disclaimer here. We're going to be talking about counter picking in the next video, and in this video we're talking about items to counter enemy heroes. So the disclaimer is, much like in StarCraft, in the sense of the counter items and counter heroes, it's dependent on the player's skill. There is no hero that outright counters another hero, and there is no item that outright counters another hero. You have to be smart, have to know what you're doing, and have to utilize the advantage that the hero gives you to be able to completely counter the opposing hero. So we're going to just take a look at items real fast, and then we're going to talk about the counter heroes in a second. So a couple of just jump out immediately items for countering enemy heroes are the Scythe of Vice and the Orchid Malevolence. Orchid Malevolence can be completely bought at your home shop without having to venture out to the secret shop. The Scythe of Vice requires 2 items from the secret shop. So let's just talk about the Orchid Malevolence really quickly. So it gives you a ton of intelligence, a ton of attack speed, tons of damage, and mana regeneration up the wahoo. Some heroes that you see this just characteristically on, and off the top of my head I can only think of one, and that's Clinks. It's a great item for Clinks, but its active is great if you're having a huge problem with an enemy caster hero. Somebody like Lich or Tidehunter, even, because of his ultimate is so good. If you silence him down, it's going to help out a lot. Even people like Nature's Prophet, or heroes who go invisible like Riki and Bounty Hunter. Orchid Malevolence will silence them for 5 seconds and amplifies the damage taken by 25%. So it's a great item to stop enemy carry casters who are just rolling your face apart, again, like Lich. People who are so dependent on their skills being activated to be used, like Zeus. Even if you silence Zeus, that's a great use of your silence. And silence will prevent Bounty Hunter from going invisible, all sorts of stuff like that. Silence is great. The Scythe of Vice, again, gives you strength, agility, intelligence, and a huge mana regen buff. So if you're having mana issues and you're on a support type character, this is a great item to pick up. All our couriers are respawning from the last video. But its active is what you want. It turns a target unit into a harmless critter for 35 seconds and destroys summoned units. Really not focusing on the destroyed summoned, you turn them into a sheep for 3.5 seconds, making them unable to attack. They can still move freely, but they have a decreased movement speed, and they're unable to attack. That is the big one. So if you're having a problem with Anti-Mage, Skeleton King, Sven, Broodmother, any of these hard carry heroes, Night Stalker, any of these guys who are just ripping you guys apart, you can buy a Scythe of Vice and you can turn them into a sheep. It's more commonly referred to as a sheep stick for that reason. Cool mechanic on that is the hero called Tinker. His ultimate rearm reactivates all the cooldowns on all of his items and skills. So if you have a Scythe of Vice, you use rearm. Right after you cast the Scythe of Vice on the enemy Anti-Mage, the Anti-Mage pops back up and begins to attacking again. You've already rearmed, and you can turn him back into a sheep, and that's 7 seconds of that Anti-Mage not helping out his team, which is huge. Huge. A couple other items that are just super helpful when countering enemy heroes. is Dust of Appearance. This creates a huge radius, as you can see here. All that dust that comes down will reveal invisible units and keep them revealed for 12 seconds. So if you're strapped on money and you can't really afford it, but they have a Riki, they have a Bounty Hunter, they have a Brood Mother, you can activate this Dust of Appearance in this huge 1050 AoE radius, and they'll be visible for 12 seconds, and it'll be a huge help to your team. Also, Sentry Wards, when strategically placed, they don't give as much vision as Observer Wards, and we'll talk about Sentry Wards and Observer Wards in a later video and where to place them. But for right now, Sentry Wards, if you buy a pack of Sentry Wards and you have your courier deliver them to you, and you place them about here in your lane or about here in your lane, or if you're playing super defensive, you can put it like right about there or right about there. Just someplace safe in your lane. I like to put it right here because then you can see this pathway here and right about there, and you can see that pathway as well. So you can see this entire lane and these pathways as well, and that'll reveal stealth units. So the Humble Sentry Ward is super helpful if you're having issues with enemy stealth heroes. And then if you go to this last page over here, Arcane Items, the Gem of True Sight is a buyable 700 gold item that has an 8-minute respawn time, and it provides True Sight, which means anywhere you can see an enemy who's invisible, but be careful because on death, the Gem of True Sight will drop. So we're going to go ahead and demonstrate that right now. I'm going to just teleport right up to here and run into this tower. And I think I have super too much life to really die to these towers, so let's pull some creep aggro as well. Maybe even another tower. We're going to go underneath these double towers up here, I think. And that should get me killed fast enough. But yes, the Gem of True Sight drops on death. So you can see it right there. There it is, dead, right next to my body. Now, it can be either picked up or destroyed. You can left-click destroy it. Attack move, left-click destroy it. And that will kill the Gem of True Sight, preventing anybody from picking it up. However, if you leave it on the ground, the opposing team or any ally can pick it up. So, super useful. If you die, just scream into all chat. Be like, pick up my gem, 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 gem. Right? Because it's important. Oop, super loud ringtone. Sorry about that. I should put that on silence. I lost track of my thought process there. But yeah, so super important. Get a gem if they're giving you huge amounts of problem. I was playing in a game last night as Bounty Hunter, and in 8 minutes, their Nature Prophet picked up a Gem of True Sight, and I would go invisible, and I'd be like, ha ha ha, look at me, I'm so clever. I'm invisible, let me sneak up behind them, and they were killing me left and right, and it took me a death to realize that they had picked up a gem that early. I thought they just had wards in lane, so I was being super sneaky, running around in the woods, and they came and found me. So it's a super way to shut down enemy heroes like Gondar, Bounty Hunter, Brood Mother, Riki, all that stuff. But again, it does drop on death, so you have to be careful of that. But again, and the last thing that we're going to talk about for countering enemy heroes is Blink Dagger and Force Staff. Both are similar items. They allow you to travel a certain distance. Force Staff allows you to travel or push allies and enemies in the direction that they're facing 600 units. And then Blink Dagger lets you jump 1,200 units away. So these two items, and we're going to demonstrate them right now. We're going to go ahead and pick up the Force Staff too. Are great for support roles, and Blink Dagger is great for initiator roles. If you're getting super underfed and you're broke, you can go for the Force Staff. It's called the Poor Man's Blink Dagger because the Blink Dagger, if you can see, will teleport you a huge distance compared to the Force Staff. It's about half. It's exactly half. So the Force Staff will only push you half, but it can be targeted on allies, enemies, and they just go the direction that they're facing. Blink Dagger just lets you go wherever you like. So Blink Dagger is great for initiating if you're having a hard time getting into the team fight and you're somebody like Tidehunter or Earthshaker or Axe. You're one of these characters who thrives at being in the center of the team fight. You pick up a Blink Dagger and you just boom right into the center of the team fight. Then you can go ahead and pop your ults or do whatever you have to help out your team. Or if you're having a hard time getting enough farm or getting enough kills to pick up the Blink Dagger, or you're dying a lot and you're losing a lot of gold, go for the Force Staff. When you're dying a lot, pick up the cheaper items, and we'll talk about that in another video. But you can go ahead and Force Staff in, and it's basically the same thing. It's going to help you get into that team fight. So this was just a quick overview of items that might help you counter enemy heroes and what to do with them. The important thing to take away from this is that no one hero or item counters an other item or hero. You have to use your advantage that the item gives you. For example, the Orchid Malevolence, the Scythe of Vice, the Blink Dagger, the Force Staff, whatever have you. You have to use that to your advantage. It's not an auto, just, you pick it up and you're going to win the game. So keep that in mind. And until the next video, take it easy, guys, and I'll talk to you real soon.